Hello everyone. My name is Zaira and I'm your facilitator for June 2020 attempt from the platform of online lecturers. Let me give you a brief introduction about me and then we will start with APM. I completed my ACCA back in 2007 and I've been teaching all these managerial accounting subjects since approximately 10 years. I was teaching in College of Accounting and Management Sciences, which was among one of the platinum status, which was the only platinum status college previously, and now there I'm also teaching. I'm teaching in Tabani School of Accountancy, which is again a platinum status college. I've been teaching all managerial accounting subjects. It's MA or PM or APM, which was formerly F2, F5, and P5, and also P1 and P2 of SEMA. So, this is a very brief introduction about myself. Let's discuss what is this APM. In F5, ACCA treated its students as middle managers, right? So it taught us all tools which are useful for managers. How to apply different techniques. For example, how to calculate cost per unit under activity-based costing, or what is the target costing? How can we calculate cost cap and calculation of variances, what is the mixed variance, yield variance, what is a balance scorecard, how to apply balance scorecard in an organization, what is transfer pricing, how we can apply that, what are the decision making tools available in any organization. So that is more towards teaching you what are the tools available for the managers if it's working in an environment. Now what is different in P5? P5 is basically now, you have to assume that you have been promoted, right? And when you are promoted, you are now suppose you got another role, you got a different role basically. And now what you have to do, you have to decide about different issues or analyze different scenario. Let me tell you how. There are multiple issues in an organization. For example, there is a quality issue, there is a cost related issue, there is a performance is not performance measurement issues that company is unable to analyze its performance properly, or there are multiple other issues. So what is our role in that particular situation? We are here to we are in a company to advise the company that why company should that what model company should use, what method company you should use, and you have to justify its feasibility. For example, if company wants to apply activity based costing, then in F5 we are supposed to calculate. We are supposed to tell examiner that what are the advantages of ABC. But now it's more towards the analysis part. If a company will implement ABC, then what will be the benefit? And you have to actually analyze those benefits and tell the examiner in number from form or in other forms that how it can assist you in decision making. You have to actually tell the examiner that look, these are the ways in which ABC can help the organization, whether to identify profitable product or not profitable product, or profitable customer or not profitable customer, or value based activity or non value based activity. It's more towards the theoretical part. Same case with other techniques, right? So this is more towards the theoretical side as compared with the calculation. So let's see what are the issues which we'll deal in this APM, and discuss how it's different. See, what's done in PM is basically activity based costing, which I said that this is something which we have already covered in F5, but it was more towards the calculation part. You were supposed to calculate what is the cost per unit under ABC, and what is the cost per unit of under absorption costing, and what will be the benefit to company if company move to ABC. So there are very typical advantages which we have seen in F5, but now it's more towards application side. What will be the benefit? What will be the issues, real issues, when company will apply APC in a particular given scenario. So the scenarios are different. Sometimes it's applicable, sometimes it's not applicable. So you have to actually decide what's going to be. Same thing with the target costing concept. We have already learned how to calculate cost gap, so probably there are less chances that examiner will go for much calculation part. It's more towards theoretical part, that why you think the target costing will be relevant, what are the factors which company should consider when apply target costing. So it's more towards the discussion side, the good part, the bad part, the evaluation part, right? Life cycle costing is not in much detail in APM, because I mean it's covered in EMA part, environmental management accounting part, but as isolated topic it's not given in P5. But we will do it in case you have to apply somewhere, you have to suggest how can you do that. Throughput costing is not included in APM. Environmental management accounting, yes, that is included in APM. Why? Because see, in PM or F5, its a scope was very limited, because pest analysis has not been done in that manner, or SWOT analysis has not been done in that manner, or legal issues or other issues. Students are not quite aware of that. But in EMA, it's now, since you guys are done with SBL and everything, so see, you have a burden to apply that all those things in EMA. So EMA is, there are most likely chances that EMA will be examined in P5, and considering the current situation, considering the current issues which are persistent in the economy, it's more likely that examiner will focus on EMA in coming papers. Now, what's next? Performance measurement. Yes, a big yes. Why? Because it's the most I mean crucial topic in APM. If you are not confident in APM, my advice, performance measurement, then my advice is don't go for APM. Don't try to attempt APM, because without performance measurement you cannot pass APM, right? So what we know actually is, we know what is balance scorecard, we know what is building block model, we think we know all these things, responsibility center, everything. Yes, we are right that we know all these things, but it's see, what's the difference? In F5, we did what how we actually applied balance scorecard, that I mean, if a company situation is given in the question, and we used to assess the performance of the company, analyze the performance of the company, that how actually company performed. But in APM, since you are done with that part, so examiner know that you have the capability to analyze the performance of company, right? So examiner is not interested in further analysis. I mean, there are mostly 90% above questions are in P5, which actually those recent questions are actually those questions which ask examiner that look, examiner students that look, this is the situation and this is the model balance scorecard which company is actually using, right? You have to evaluate the existing balance scorecard model. That means you are not supposed to analyze how company actually perform. That you already did in F5. So that means you have necessary capabilities of doing so. What actually examiner wants is you must have the ability to identify that why you think that the current balance scorecard, some parts of current balance scorecard is appropriate with the is matching with the is consistent with the mission statement, and why you think that there are certain areas that needs improvement, and you have to actually justify those things. So that means you should have you should have the capability to match your balance scorecard with what company actually wants, with what is the mission statement. So balance scorecard, building block model, both are examined in the same way. Performance pyramid, this will be a new situation, the new theory, new concept for you, or for all of you, but it's similar to the previous model. The only one perception has been changed in this part, so we'll discuss it later in APM videos. Responsibility centers, yes, we know. We think that we know, but there are certain missing areas in responsibility centers. I mean, we know what is performance, what is cost center, profit center, investment center, revenue center. We know everything, right? But we apart from residual income and return on investment, there is another measure which is called economic value added, which we haven't seen in F5. That is included in APM, so that is a new part. Similarly, let me write this: economic value added is a new part, and along with that, transfer pricing, which we have already discussed, is now along with the taxation issues and along with the foreign foreign currency exchange rate issues, right? Now you will be given a scenario where one company is situated in one country and another company is situated in another country. I mean, the two divisions are in separate countries, and they want to, transfer goods from or components from one division to another division. Then definitely there will be a taxation issues, definitely there will be exchange rate issues, have to translate and everything. So that is something new in transfer pricing. Then performance measurement in not-for-profit making organization, not it has not been examined in PM, or formerly F5, in the way it should be examined. So I think that its more scope is in P5 or APM, right? Now, uh, then budgets are there. We know what are rolling budgets. We know the theory of zero-based budgeting, but here we have to do. We will do one calculation question as well. So, in case there will be some application, you people can attempt it. Activity-based budgeting is included here. Beyond budgeting is a new concept. This is something which we will do in in PM. So again, calculation of budgeting will not be required. You people will be required to analyze the situation, how AP activity based budgeting is useful in a current scenario, or why you think that rolling budget is more appropriate considering the scenarios of the company. Then decision making in decision making, risk and uncertainty and pricing decision are included in APM, but linear programming, limiting factor, and relevant costing, these things are not included in APM. I mean, you must have knowledge of what is the relevant cost and what is an irrelevant cost, but you are not supposed to apply that concept. I mean, examiner will not ask you to prepare a minimum quotation order that you already have done in F5 or PM, so that will not be included. That will not be examined here. Risk and uncertainty is examinable apart, and decision tree is excluded, but maximax, maximum, minimax, regret, and expected values all are included, but with some theoretical part, sure, for sure. Variances a big no. There is no variances. I mean, in an attempt, their examiner just asked a question, not exactly asked the students to calculate variances, but examiner just gave a report about there is a part of controllable variances and there was a part of uncontrollable variances, and there was some suggestion or commenting on that. I mean, so you must have an idea of what are. I mean, you should be able to recall what is the planning and operational variances, but um, calculation is not required. I mean, you examiner will not ask you to calculate any variance, right? So that's what I mean. Then what is different requirement in APM? See, you have to evaluate different situation. There are very less chances that examiner will ask you to calculate something, right? Calculate part is very, not very, it's rare. I mean, it's hardly exam ask you to calculate something. Mostly it's analyze, mostly it's towards analysis, mostly it's toward evaluate, recommend, assess. So these are the common verbs which examiner use in P5. You see, you can identify that that number crunching is very low in APM. I mean, you will hardly find any question which is purely computation based, right? So, I mean, previously examiner used to ask one question maybe in one or two attempts, but now situation have been changed. Now it's very much towards the theoretical side. And see, that makes sense because at a strategic level, or if someone is about to decide something, He will ask for the report that look, I no, I need this report, I need these three reports now, and on the basis of those reports, he analyzes the situation, right? So he will not calculate anything. So that's basically what your role is in the company, right? Then again, these are some new. This is something new in performance management, APM, and this. I mean, there are few things which you guys know, and there are new skills of applying the knowledge. I mean, as I said, evaluate, recommend, respond, justify, advise the company. So these are some new verbs which you have to deal with, not typical calculate word, right? Plan. What is the plan for June 2020? Let me share that. From 11th March to 18th March, which will be the first week of our session, we will cover some basic ideas of APM, some easy theories, because you see that is basically a phase where you have already completed your ACCA paper, and you are tired and you are going to start with another subject. So uh, just in order to give you not a tough time, we will do these three easy topics, right? Activity based costing, activity based management system you haven't done, but still it's not that difficult. Target costing we will do, risk and uncertainty part we will do. So these are those topics which you have already covered in PM or F5. We will see how these question examiner will examine, right? I'm not expecting you to remember everything. So we will cover we will cover the basic concept in a lecture, and then we will do questions in another lecture, right? Then 18 to 8th April. Now, sorry, I 18th March to 8th April. Now, this is going to be a crucial time for you. That's why I put this heading in red. Why? Because in this time period we will cover the major parts of your syllabus. I mean, this is basically a part from where examiner usually asks 50 marks question. See, that's why this is really very important. This part and the next slide, uh, this one. So these two slides we will cover. Two slides in the sense the basic, the starting part of balance of performance measurement, balance scorecard, building block, performance pyramid, pest analysis, fiscal monetary policy, SWOT analysis. These are the areas which examiner usually mix with performance measurement in order to make 50 marks question, because you see it's difficult. It's not difficult, I mean examiner can do that, but you see you have to include some other areas of PM. I mean, for example, let's take a simple example of pest analysis. If you are doing an analysis in a situation, then definitely you should analyze the macroeconomic environment along with what company did. So the analysis of macroeconomic level environment can be done by using pest analysis, right? So that's why we can include pest analysis along with the performance measurement, right? Same case with other parts, fiscal policy, monetary policy, SWOT analysis. And then I tried to mention it with different color, but I succeeded in that. These parts have this theory part has been done in past. I mean, this pest analysis, SWOT analysis, and uh, Porter five forces model, stakeholder mapping, boost and consultant growth metrics, and BCG. We have already covered. You guys have already covered these things in past, but we will, in case you guys don't remember, we will do a short video of all these concepts, and then we see how these theories can be applied in APM, right? So till 8th April, you have to concentrate a lot on APM. You have to be, in line with what we are doing. Then what's next? Another crucial week, 8 to 22nd April. In this part, we will do two major things: economic value added and transfer pricing. So this is very important month. This is very important week as well. So these few days, I think 10 days here from 18 to 8, and then 8 to 22nd, I think 6 or 7 days. So approximately 16 to 17 days will be very crucial for you, especially if you are from Muslim community, because after I mean 20 Ramzan will start from 24th of April. So usually we don't have much time in during Ramzan season. So that's why I will try to cover the important area first, right before 22nd of April, so that you will have ample time to practice that. And again, if there is any issue, if there is any problem with respect to Ramzan, then you can deal with that as well. Then there will be a lighter phase where we will do some isolated topics. I mean, quality control, Six Sigma, benchmarking, Kaizen courses. So these are some isolated topics. I mean, uh, these are those topics which can be examined in 25 marks question, and not much technical. I mean, I'm not saying that these are easy requirements, but still, um, uh, these are easier topics as compared with the previous one. Then from 29th April to 6th May, this will be the second last week of our course. We will do another few isolated topics. I mean, not exactly isolated topics, but these topics are uh, usually examined in 25 marks question. Again, examiner has the ability to merge these parts with 50 marks as well, but probably it will be examined in 25 marks question. Then 6th to 12th May, why I marked it with red? Because 12th May, on 12th May we will end our syllabus, right? And we will do last few topics or some other topics which which will be left in the syllabus. So we'll do cover it in the last week, right? What will be what about any issues rising after 12th May? So I will be available on every Monday. I mean, I think there will be 3 Mondays, I guess, three Mondays probably after 12. So I will be available from on Monday from 9 to 10 p.m. live, so that in case you have any issue, you may consult me, or you can ask me on the WhatsApp group the issues, and we I will respond it on 9 to 10 p.m. Or if that's available suitable, or in case of unsuitable, I will I mean, if there is a feasibility that I can voice message you the solution or the I mean the answer, or maybe the solution, then I will definitely try to do that. Paper pattern is very simple. 50 marks question, most probably from a performance measurement part, along mixed with some other topic. And then two compulsory questions, 25 marks each. Theory to calculation ratio is 80 to 20, but my vote is for 90 to 10%, 90% theory and 10% calculation. So you see how important theory part is. One thing I would like to add here is in our analysis part in our lectures, I will give you the basic points that see you have to cover these important areas. This is something which you have to cover. But you may add few of your own points, but whether you add your own points, whether you continue with what we discussed, you must be able to write it in your own words. Because see, the only communication medium is the answer script. So you must practice the question by writing the answer. This is my sincere advice to you, because majority I met examiner once in examiner conference, and I asked him that why you think that ACCA students are failing in APM P5 at that time. So he said that students, whatever student write in the paper is perfectly fine. I mean, they are correct. They write exactly correct thing, correct matter, in fact. But the problem is they do not write what actually examiner want them to write. I mean, examiner, I remember there was a question which he mentioned specifically. He said that there was a question where examiner asked students to evaluate a report, right? That this is a report and you have to evaluate. Now, as a manager, as someone at a strategic level, I must get a report that contain all the necessary information, right? So he asked you that you need to analyze this report and tell us how this report can be improved, what are the issues in this report, right? So he was actually asking that what kind of additional information a strategic person may want, or what kind of information which is required to do the perfect analysis, right? And what students did, majority student actually analyzed the company performance, that look, sales went up and cost of goods sold went down and GP went up and blah 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 blah. So examiner said, what, look, this is basically something which actually student did. I mean, they analyzed performance perfectly. The performance analysis part they did was perfectly fine, but that was not something which I actually examiner asked them to do. So for answering the question, they must understand what is the requirement. So students, what usually do is they usually read the requirement very, they think requirement is they can understand the requirement, so it's nothing. I mean, there's not much in the requirement, so that is basically where they are wrong. They must read the requirement, that what examiner actually wants, or what CEO wants from you as a manager. So you have to address that issue in your report, in your answer. So that's very important. So my sincere advice is you must write answer in order to prepare for your APM paper, right? This is something which I actually don't like to share, but this is a reality. This is APM. Passing ratio has improved recently, because you see there's 29%, 29%. Now it's more towards 30s, in middle 30s. But again, students are struggling in APM because it's a very general paper. Sometimes you think that I mean, these are the general common issues why we are actually studying these, but actually the problem is we have to study, because at the end there are a lot of students who fail in APM and they don't know why they failed, why actually they got flunked. I mean, in other papers, students know why they fail. I mean, they were unable to do a question, or they were unable to apply for financial aspect properly. But here, student think, I mean, it's very general. It's more general. So students usually think that what is the problem? Why we went wrong? What's went wrong in the situation? And then they think like, no, we know everything. Then they attempt to stay with the same knowledge, same practice. They attempt another time, then another get flunked. So that's basically the issue. You should analyze the requirement very carefully. So we will do its practice in our sessions. Right? So that's basically the brief introduction of what APM is. Remember, we will complete our syllabus by 12th of May, inshallah, 2020. Right? Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.